Ready?
Yes.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Ken at pba@hotmail.com. I want to put out this video. I've never made a video before, and I want to put out this video, which is kind of broad spectrum for the mass out there, about some of the things I found out. I'm going to talk in the beginning about ORMUS, or monatomic gold. Now, monatomic gold, as you can go and get a video off the internet, YouTube, how to make monatomic gold and how it works. I've made up a couple. I got powdered monatomic gold, I got liquid, and monatomic gold, I don't know how it works. It has weird properties, but I want to let you know what I found. Now, also, part of this video is dealing with monatomic gold, colloidal gold, and colloidal silver. ORMUS is monatomic gold. I'm going to refer to ORMUS from now on. I want to give a thanks to Steve Whodat, W-H-O-D-A-T. You can look him up on YouTube of how to make colloidal gold with a coffee pot and electricity. I'm not going to tell you how to do all this stuff because you can find it on the internet. What I'm going is a step farther, and I want you to ask questions and try to do things yourself. Okay? As far as monatomic gold, I have no idea. For the glass makers out there, I don't know if you take powdered ORMUS and put in glass, what color it comes out. I have no idea. I do know that if you make, under Steve's YouTube video, if you make colloidal gold, and by the way, colloidal gold particles, it depends, they're nanometers, okay? If they're nanoparticles. And the color of the nanoparticles is dependent on the size of the nanoparticles. So if I have a color of this pretty ruby red, like this, it's a smaller nano than, say, this nice, pretty blue purple color. Okay, the purple is really pretty, but the size of the particles in this and the size of the particles in this are different. And but the key, what I found out, is I accidentally, and I stumbled on this by accident, is I used a coffee pot and I made this purple colloidal gold. But I've always been making ORMUS, and I use the same jars, and if you'll notice on the side of this jar, there are little lines in it. You probably can't see them, but there's small lines in it where I had ORMUS in this jar. And the ORMUS in this jar, I used this jar to fill up the coffee pot. Not to fill up the coffee pot, but I made the gold, it looked like this, and then when I poured it out, I made two jars. It filled up two jars, one purple, both of them purple. But what happened, this one where the ORMUS was in, it settled out. It settled out, and you can see in the bottom, you can see the purple in the bottom. And you say, well, what's special with that? Well, the gold in the bottom is heavier particles. It's a purple color, so the nanoparticles are heavier and they settle out. ORMUS is a settling agent, is what I found out. Now you say, well, there's nothing in here. But if you take a laser and stick through it, you can see, you probably can't see it, but you can see the laser light going through the jar, so you know that even though it looks like water, there's still gold particles in this. What I'm looking at is if you're a glass maker and you want to make a pretty gold vase or something, you can take gold and put it in the water, put a little monatomic gold in there, it'll settle out, you can take off the water, make a powder, and put in your glass. From a ruby red to a purple or whatever. And you could put gold in your glass if you're a glass maker. If you're not, you can just take this and the gold is still in here and it's microscopic. These are heavier, but if I take this, you see how pretty this is? If I take this and shake it up, there you go. It turns into the purple again. And if you let it set it down, it'll settle out. The purple will settle out, the heavy particles will drop because of the ORMUS. The ORMUS causes this. But I don't know what ORMUS looks like in the water. You can see that it's not, when it settles out, you can see the particles floating around in here because they're larger than nano. They're getting to be the large size nano. This was made using Steve's YouTube thing, and it shows that you can change the formula for making it and make a darker red or a ruby. This is a very good ruby, very nano, but this is good stuff. And I didn't put ORMUS in this. But I wanted to bring this up. The gold particles are small. They change color with size. You can look all this stuff on the internet, YouTube. Okay? And ORMUS is a settling agent. I have no idea what it looks like in glass, so you might want to, the glass makers might want to try that. The nano gold can be poured off. Once it settles again, it can be poured off and used in the glass, and I wouldn't throw away the water because the water still got microscopic nano gold in it. So it's still good for you, it's just it doesn't have the heavy particles. Matter of fact, with the heavy particles gone, it's probably better for the body, especially if it's a dark red, purple. Okay? Now, this can be very helpful for the glass blowers. I want them to know that. I want them to ask questions and do things on their own if they want to. If they don't like the video, that's up to them. But I would like people to put this on YouTube and just get a thing started. Well, I want to show you something. When I first made silver, I made it the way they said make it, and it turned out really black and had legs on the coins. These are 999 coins, silver, and it had legs and it grew and it looked dirty. But now, here I made some, and it turns out, you can see the light can't pass through it. It turns out always a blue milk and magnesia color. With a black background, this looks a little dark, but what I found is the first time I made it was really terrible, and when I put a little, just a teeny touch, I made it by accident because I used one of these jars that had almost sticks to the side of the glass. So when I used the glass, I put water in it. It almost got into water and changed the color of my silver. So I'm going to turn this on and I want to show you what happens. This is a regular DC device that it hooks up to 30 volts, and when you turn it on the positive side, which is, can you zoom in on this? Can you zoom in on this? Hey, if you look at this, you'll see the white. Before when I made the silver with the instructions off the internet, I had legs growing off the silver coins. It was black, it was cruddy, I had a lot of crud in my water, and I strained it off. But when I put a little nano ORMUS in the water, just a teeny tiny bit, look, can you see this? Can you see that? You can see the white, actually the silver falling out of the coin into the water. It makes a white cloud. I want you to see the white cloud falling. Now, this, because you're not using very much ORMUS, you're using a very little bit. I'm only using filtered water. Water through a water filter. It doesn't have anything special. I don't have put any salt or chemicals in it. I want the straight silver. The only thing different is the ORMUS. And since ORMUS is what it does, it keeps this coin from turning black. And the only time it turns black is if I switch the polarity from everything comes off the positive side of the DC. So, and it falls down, it makes a cloud into the water. You can see the cloud forming. See that? What happens is, it's very nano, and if after about, what I've been doing is after about 15 minutes, switching over and letting the other coin, silver, come off the other coin. And this will not turn black until I switch over. The negative side will have a little bit of black residue, but there's no legs on it. It doesn't try to connect to each other. There's very little waste in it, because once it's made up, there's not a lot of crud floating around like I did the first time when I just did it the other way. So I want you to see what ORMUS does when you're making silver. It makes it It makes it look like a light milk of magnesia. It's like a blue-gray, very pretty, and it depends on how much ORMUS in it you put in it or not, and how long you cook it as to what kind of product you have. But if you take this product, and once it turns like a milky white, you can take it and strain it off, cut the power off, strain it off, and put it in a jar, and it will last for 2 or 3 days without settlement because there's not that much ORMUS in it. The nano will stay there. It'll look like milk in a jar, but I can really feel this stuff. If you drink it, you can feel it. It works on your head. I don't know all of what it does, but I'm just saying it does work. I want people out there and try this stuff at your home. Try it yourself. I'm not a doctor. I don't recommend anything. But if you want to try using ORMUS with getting out colloidal silver or colloidal gold, you can do that. It's good. It would be good for the glass making part. Now, if you notice that I've already done this, it's already getting light, and the settlements are going to the bottom on the gold. This hasn't had anything in it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful colloidal gold. Thanks to Steve off the internet. I appreciate all that. But ORMUS changes the silver. It changes from being dark and burned to a pretty milk of magnesia color. And that's about it. I just want to close it out, show you what it looks like, show it how it's falling off of the coin. You can see the nanoparticles falling off of the coin into a pretty blue, milky color rather than be burned and look cruddy. There's no salt in here. There's no nothing. It's just water. Water, silver, and a very teeny tiny bit of monatomic gold. Monatomic gold, or ORMUS, is what makes it do it this way. If you don't have ORMUS in it, it will not do this. It will not look like this. But you can see the milky color, and you know that if you shine a light in it, you can shine a light in it, and you can see that you can actually see it coming off the coin, and you can see the nanoparticles in there. The way you see them is through the cloud and the light. It disperses up. Once you get done, it'll disperse the light, and if you shine a laser in it, it'll fill the whole jar with red. If you use a red laser, it'll fill the whole jar with red because all these particles are fractured out through the laser, and you can tell that it's in there. The silver's in there. But I want you to see how this works. This is the key thing. But monatomic gold, I use the liquid method, the water method, and you can make it liquid, or you can make it powder. And I'm curious. I don't have any glass works or nothing, so I'm curious as to what ORMUS does in glass. But I just want to make this video and let people ask questions and do some research. I don't have the answers. And that's about it. If you want to email me, it's peabah@hotmail.com. This is October the 23rd. Okay? And I just want people to see how this works, because when I first made colloidal silver, it didn't look like this. But I accidentally used a jar that had monatomic gold in it, and the residue in the edge caused this to happen. And that's what I want you to see, because I don't know if the glass blowing community or the people that make colloidal silver match up with monatomic gold. I don't know if the right hand talks to the left hand. So I'm just trying to bring everything together and give people ideas of how to do things. That's about it. You have a good day, and thank you very much.